What's going on, everyone? Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal. Today we are taking a day off intentionally, and I made a pricing video about a week or two ago. If you haven't checked that out yet, going over basically exactly what I charge, how much I charge, and how it came to be, those numbers, and the kind of things to kind of look for. And I had a few people ask if I could send them a pricing list, like my specific one, and there's no like one way to make a price list. They're super simple. I think some people like overcomplicate them. So I'm going to show you my price list and how I make it. Now I'm going to literally go through the steps because I find one that's super simple and straightforward. It's more of like a minimalist look, and I'm literally just getting right to the point. I don't do any kind of fancy stuff to it. So I think that's really all you need. Like my price list, I've seen some where it looks like a landing page. Like they'll have their title, they'll have pictures all over the place, they'll have all these paragraphs or wordings, and the price list is like kind of in the middle, and then like they'll have all the information at the bottom. I guess if you're sending it out like as a flyer, maybe that would work, but this is more like to send off to a vendor or to carry with you like on estimates. So if you're going to walk around with maybe a binder or a clipboard as you're talking to people and you bring your price list with you, which could be very good. A lot of people do that. And it does have some professional standing to it because what it does is it's presenting the customer a fixed rate that everybody else gets. It's not just you looking around saying, okay, I think it's going to be this number. And you could just be throwing a number out there and it could be entirely different from their neighbor who just used you a month ago. I learned this from the moving company I used to work for. That had junk removal. They would do that with the price sheet, and they would actually have you like sit down with a client and go over and say, based on your estimate, we think you're going to be here, and this is the price. And then we're going to add on a couple of extra fees because we think this is going to take longer than normal, and you have two pieces that raise concern as a heavy item fee. So we're going to charge you for these amounts here, and this is what the total is. And the client can sit there and calculate it on their own, like, okay, yeah, that's what the total is. So that's kind of the reassurance that it provides. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how I do it step by step. It's super simple. And if you want to use the same template, go for it. Otherwise, Canva has thousands of templates you can use. So this is Canva. Now, I originally had just done price list and it brought up a lot. And I scrolled through them all. Just out of curiosity, I wondered if there was junk removal. So I typed in junk removal price list. And no, there's no category for junk removal. Sorry to burst your bubble. But it did kind of rearrange the type of price list that popped up, and I think it's because it's service-based. Now, I found one that I particularly liked, and this is what my current one is. So it's called Dusty Green Minimalist Skincare. It's quite a handful. Well, this is the one that I personally like. So to me, it's kind of on like the minimalist side. It's pretty straightforward. The first thing I do, though, is I change the background. So you just click on the picture, click here, make it white. Now, if you use, maybe your background on all of your logos and your businesses is maybe black or it's yellow or something, then change the background. But my format is white and blue. So the first thing I do just to make everything a little easier is I change all of the fonts. Now, because like I said, my background is white, everything else is blue, I'm going to go ahead and change all of my colors for things to blue. Bloop. Bloop. We can delete that. We can delete the little leaf because we're not in that business. So now I have my color set up. Now, I made all of my fonts here bold. And I'm just getting things like kind of pre-made. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to add text. This is going to be my title for my business. I can't type around my tripod. Your junk removal business. Boop. Okay. So the way I did my price list is I went by the two ways that we charge. So the first one is by volume. And then the second one is extra fees. Extra fees would be like debris, time, and heavy items. So heavy item, debris, and extra labor. And then by volume, as you can probably guess, we're going to do our increments. Now, for the sake of the video and time, I'm going to just do quarters. So this is perfect if you already do quarters, and this would be like if you probably had a smaller truck or you just really like the simplicity of keeping things straightforward. I think most people use 8 to 12 increments, and then franchises use up to 16, which I still think is crazy. Now, for the, let's just say your minimum load, this is where you would just adjust your pricing to whatever you have. Let's do 99. Let's call your quarter load 175 to 50, 325, and then 400. These aren't numbers to go by. I'm just trying to keep it simplistic just to show you an idea of like what everything looks like. So extra fees, now we would change these numbers. Let's say your heavy item fee is an additional $50 per an item. Debris, let's say you just do a flat rate added on to normal volume, and then extra time, let's just say $50 an hour extra. So this is what your price list would basically look like. And then you just trim up some small little details. Boop. And that's it. Super easy to do. Now, if you had a, oops, sorry, I forgot to change the color for this. Now, if you had a logo, you would add it down at the bottom there. Let me go ahead and throw mine in just for shits and giggles. So that's what my price list looks like for the most part. The only difference is my pricing was different and I have more increments and different pricing here. But this is what I'm sending off to vendors. To me, it's super simple. I've had people say like, oh, it's so clean and like nice looking. It's so decluttered is what they like to say. And like, that's the whole point. And I also think it looks nice too. Like if I didn't have the price list here, it would just be like super basic and simple. I kind of like the price list being in script because I think it adds a little bit of character to it. Like it makes it kind of stick out a little. But that's literally like the gist of it. It's as easy as that. And then all you would do, let me turn my tripod here, is you would click on the share button and you would download it or send it off to wherever you need to send it to. But it really is just as easy as that. This is a free template. It's already done. All of your tools and everything you need is over here. These are all my pictures. And you can add in elements too if you wanted to. So a lot of this stuff kind of requires like a pro membership, but they have like different junk logos and stuff. If I can find one that's free. So like if you wanted, let's say you didn't have a logo and you wanted to add in like a trash can or something. Maybe like just like down in like the bottom corner. Make that a little smaller so it's not so crazy. And then edit image. I want to change the color. There. So let's say I didn't have a logo. I would just add like a little trash can down there. So that's just what I found to be super simple. And it's easy because it's already pre-made. But that's what my price list looks like.